This is Toy Galaxy Art Club. I'm Dan Larson. Let's draw Taskmaster. This Taskmaster is a commission made by Stan through our Patreon account, patreon.com/ToyGalaxy. Thank you, Stan. We currently have 4 different support levels, $1, $3, $5, and $35. At the $35 level, you get to choose the subject for an episode of Toy Galaxy Art Club, and then I will send you the original illustration. Check out the link, which is on screen now or down in the video description below if you're interested in becoming a patron as well. Today we're working with a bunch of pens and pencils. If you watched the show before, you've seen what I use. Just basic materials. I don't use anything fancy. Just number 2 pencil, number 3 pencil, Sharpies. Taskmaster has a shield. We might actually have to break out the compass today. We'll see. We'll see how that shield ends up sitting. And then just for paper, I've just got some cardstock paper. Nothing fancy. Just you can buy it by the ream at Target or Walmart, any place like that. For Taskmaster, he's got a lot of different looks. There's his classic sort of Cavalier look with the Cavalier boots, the Captain America style boots and the big cape and hood and all that stuff. And then he's got the more current, more recent sort of Udon, more stylized, no cape kind of look, and the Ultimate Spider-Man look as well. Since this is a toy show generally, Toy Galaxy, I'm gonna base my design on the action figure roughly. I'm not trying to duplicate the action figure itself, but in terms of costume, I'll pull from this lightsaber. I don't know where his shield is. Various pockets and armor plates, and I prefer the more skull-looking head style, mask style to the Udon, more stylized one. But we'll get the hood on there. I'm undecided about the cape. Might throw a cape on, depends on how it works for the composition. We shall see. Let's get rolling. Right, this is probably what I really am looking to do with the rough here. Just again laying out sort of where everything's gonna fit. You got a lot of weird design elements here. You got to sort of pick some stuff to focus on: cape, bow, sword, shield, skull face. He's got so much going on. It's like, just can we pick one, please? So I really like the skull face. I want to put some emphasis on that. So I've got almost dead center here. This whole thing is sort of pulling down to the left, so I might need to throw in some smoke or something to kind of pull it back up to the side. But we'll see. I like the idea of him sort of hunched over, kind of ghoulish. I know he's a guy wearing a mask, but the ghoulishness of the skull face, it's always been sort of like a question of like, is that his face? Is it his mask? I know it is a mask, but when you look at him, you don't know for sure because it looks like such a skull. I'm going to go with lightsaber here. The lightsaber will probably be our light source for the rest of this stuff, although it might be problematic because the lightsaber is technically behind the shield here, so it wouldn't give us a lot of light on the shield, but we'll see how all that works out. I don't do a lot of finished shading anyway, so it might not be an issue. Finding his center of gravity is sort of a thing here. Eye level, we're looking at him sort of right about ribcage height here, so I'm seeing both the tops of his thighs. His rear leg is probably behind the shield here, maybe a little bit of foot, but that might look weird if I try to put just his heel outside the shield here. I may have to pull the shield over a little. We'll see how this all works out. Well, I'm gonna have some crap hanging off of his belt here, and again, I'm undecided about the cape. I don't know. It might have even been nice if I could sort of pull this over a little bit and maybe put some cape out here. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit more, and we'll figure it out going forward. All right, I think that's about where I want to be for pencils. I think most of this, after a while, after you draw enough stuff, you sort of develop a visual language of your own sort of style and stuff, especially if you're trying to do something relatively, you know, in a sort of short amount of time. And if you're inking your own material, you sort of leave visual notes for yourself. You know, I know how I want to treat this cape. I know how I want to treat the face. I don't need to draw all the little details on the shield right now. I can get that at a later point. For now, I want to go ahead and start sort of inking in the major elements here so that I can start to lock everything in place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some ink on this. So this is an example of where I found a pose I liked, but compositionally this thing just wasn't sitting right on the page. So I had to step away from it for a bit and really think about what I was doing with it and how I was going to solve it visually as a thing on the page, irregardless of the fact that it was, you know, a guy in a hood with a lightsaber and a shield. So what I did was I put a moon up here to pull everything back in this sort of direction, because everything I had was sitting down here in the bottom left corner. This moon anchored it, you know, pulled it right back up to the top, and then I just put this rough border around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some contrast to this and fill out the page a bit more. This whole back is just going to go black. The moon is going to stay white. I put some details in on his shield. There's too many different versions of his shield. I'm just going to go with the very simple T-ish shape with the other circle. And then I also had to take out this entire foot because I didn't like the shape of it. So I was trying to think about what I wanted to do with this. I went ahead and whited out, used whiteout pen, took out the whole foot, and redrew a silhouette here, so we need to put those details back in. And then I just very quickly put some other light details here. So I'm gonna go ahead and ink up all those things and we'll get this thing done. All right, you know what? I like where that's at. I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish that. Call that finished. I think if I work too much more on it, I'm just gonna end up fiddling with stuff. And I know in the past I have a tendency to try to do too much and pick and nitpick and whatever, and then you start experimenting and just say, you know what? You gotta just stop and and just call it finished. You know, I'm pretty pleased with how this came out. I really like this lightsaber. It almost looks more like a laser bat, which I think is pretty neat for him. I'll be honest, I think I may have just drawn armored Skeletor. That's kind of what this looks like more than anything. It's like armored Skeletor with like a Spartan shield. Is sort of how it came out. Thanks for watching. I had fun. I hope you had fun too. That's what this is really all about. Check us out on Instagram at Toy Galaxy for our regular action figure feed, and Toy Galaxy art for drawings that I do outside of these videos. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and of course Patreon. Links in the description below. Please subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Hit like and let us know in the comments below where you stand on Taskmaster. Is he a slow Tuesday Avengers villain or a grossly underutilized super villain? Thanks. Later.